Hey you, my name is Tom.scot and pornography is as fun to watch as it is hard to forget. So much flesh.
We'll continue our review of the Relationship, Sexual Health and Parenthood sex ed resources being produced by the Scottish Government, Education Scotland, NHS in Scotland. Now, in this video, we're going to look at some of the perverted filth they've got lined up to show pupils aged 15 and above. So as usual, viewer discretion is advised. But here we go.
The whole purpose of pornography is to arouse us, to get us sexually excited, and that's great because using your actual imagination is hard work. Porn is great to watch while we're getting intimate with ourselves because it doesn't just turn us on, it also distracts us from how stupid we look while we're doing it, which is always good.
So we've got the same old message. Porn is good. All the major world religions are wrong. Porn is actually morally acceptable. No debate about that. It's a fact, and that's what we're here to teach you. Anyway, the kids will have been getting this message for years already by the time they're at this stage of school.
Despite porn being a vague term used to describe sexually explicit viewing material, if you want to see more than straight white people getting it on, you might have to be a little more specific.
Now, of course, got the good old social justice perspective coming in here. Diversity is a good thing, obviously. So a good thing is to try different types of porn. I wonder what those different types could be.
There are plenty of types of porn, including but not limited to softcore, hardcore, lesbian, thespian, interracial, facial, alternative, conservative, hentai, Far Cry, BDSM, NEDM, amateur, mature, and swan disco. However, if none of that stuff floats your boat, then fear not, because if the internet has taught us anything, it's that if it exists, there is porn of it.
Okay, let's just slow down a bit here and look at these types of porn he's recommending in this light-hearted manner. First one, facial, with a person with like a cosmetic facial. Facial porn is obviously not about that. Sorry to have to talk about this, but this is what they're going to talk to kids in school about. Facial means a man ejaculating onto a woman's face, a degrading and perverted act, surely that would undermine the capacity for loving sexual relationship. Right, next one, hentai. I've never heard of that. Quick spot of research on the internet. Here's a quick definition for you. And you can see in the image the tentacles chasing the girl. Okay, utterly perverted and effectively bestiality. Right, what have we got next? Far Cry. Far Cry is a computer game that includes explicit sexual content. So you can either play it and it involves sexual experiences, or the game's used to generate pornography. Now, teenage boys sitting in their bedrooms playing this game, watching pornography based on this game. Is that what parents want for their sons? Probably not, but that's what Education Scotland, the Scottish Government and the National Health Service in Scotland wants for your sons. Next one in the jolly list, BDSM, bondage, discipline, dominance, submission, sadism, masochism, different ways of interpreting those initials, but perversions of sexuality, distorting sexuality away from mutual love and care towards selfish, sinister fantasies. But in Scottish schools, hey kids, give it a try. Try all different varieties of porn. Who knows, you could get hooked into this dark world yourselves and it could wreck your life. But hey, we don't care about that. The thing that we care about in Scottish education is we've got to push our philosophy that anything goes, and don't you dare disagree with it. That's the way they think. Right, next one, mature. Now, this does exist as a genre of pornography, so if any of the pupils take that seriously and go looking for this sort of pornography, they will find it. And this has been promoted to teenagers. This image in particular from the video I find sickening. Any idea of respect for elders? Are any of these teenage kids going to get hooked on this sort of porn? What's that going to lead to? I'd rather not think about it. Now, of course, this presenter, he's just the sort of person that the Scottish Government wants promoting their views to your children. What's he like? Oh, you can see from the picture the sort of philosophy that he espouses. But just the sort of person to go right to the top and be given the position of influence in Scottish schools. Okay, we'll move on now to another video about pornography from the same lesson plan.
Porn star penises are 6 to 9 inches. Civilian penis? 5 to 7. And while porn stars have very little hair down there, in real life 65% of women and 85% of men do. Male performers can hump for days, but in real life 75% of men ejaculate within 3 minutes. Unlike porn stars, only 11.5% of women have had a same-sex experience.
So the point they're making here is basically valid. They're saying one of the problems with porn is it gives unrealistic expectations of sex. But that's the least of the problems with porn. The more important problems is it undermines the capacity for stable, loving relationships. And it takes away inhibitions about sexual coercion. It can be addictive, perverting in other ways, etc., etc. But they ignore all those and just say porn is good, but just don't get carried away and avoid the bad stuff. While the previous video recommended what I would say would be the bad stuff. So anyway, in trying to make this valid point, they trivialise sex. The presentation is smutty and vulgar. Sex should have a certain mystique, should be presented as something precious and important. Whereas in Scottish schools, they want to reduce it to trivial technicalities and smutty jokes.
And only 40% of women have tried anal.
Well, I find that image just utterly disgusting.
Just 22% say they'll take a hot load in the face. And only 30% will actually swallow said load.
Okay, anything about the importance of marriage, the benefits of abstinence, the dangers of young and promiscuous sex, the effect of your sexual choices on your kids in the future? Nothing at all. Not interested in that. What they're bothered about is just pushing this smut.
The portion of women who've been in a threesome is less than 20%.
Okay, got the message, kids? Most don't do it, but some do. That's all we've got to say. Nothing else to it. You might be thinking to yourself, who creates these materials? Who watches this video and thinks, yep, that's just the thing to show in schools? What are their personal values like? Well, watch the next video in this series, because I've done a spot of research into one of the people involved in putting these resources together, and you can find out a little bit about his personal values from that. Anyway, on we go.
And while the internet is awash in female squirters, only 6% of women say they regularly gush forth. Finally, what about light bondage? Well, only 40% have tried it. Wait, that's actually quite a lot. So there you go.
So that amounts effectively to endorsement of bondage. The noise as if, oh yeah, that sounds quite good, quite interesting. So it's quite common, why not give it a go? That is a perversion of sexuality. Therefore, this video used in schools is a means of perverting the sexuality of young people in Scotland. So just to clarify that again, the Scottish Government, the SNP, pretty well unopposed by the other parties, Education Scotland, National Health Service in Scotland, are seeking to pervert the sexuality of young people in Scotland. Okay, moving on to another theme we've seen for years now going through these materials, and that is the promotion of masturbation.
Feel like you're coming down with the cold? One study found that in males, components of the immune system are activated during masturbation, increasing the number of white blood cells in the bloodstream.
As usual, a barrage of pseudoscientific trivia, but no wisdom. And the obvious implication, the Catholic Church, for example, is dead wrong. Don't even bother considering their teachings. The Scottish Government has the one true truth, and they will teach you the actual facts about the morality and wisdom of masturbation.
But while masturbating does have physiological benefits, it's important to mix up your techniques. Using the same way to get off every time can make you sexually unresponsive to other types of stimulation. This could lead to decreased sexual arousal or performance when it comes time to do the deed with a real-life partner. So make sure you mix it up. At the end of the day, masturbation is a safe and healthy activity, so put on some music, light those candles, and have yourself a good night.
So again there, that's effectively an instruction about how to masturbate. Includes introducing a sex toy, which again I would be very dubious about that. Is that a healthy form of sexuality to be promoting to young people in schools? I don't believe it is. Now, when I make these videos, sometimes people watch them and they basically don't believe that these materials are actually produced to be used in schools. These are the official resources produced by the Scottish Government. Not every school might use them, an awful lot will. And the ones who don't have to tick the same boxes, they have to cover the same curriculum content in some other way. In the next video I make, I will actually show myself clicking through to these resources from the website, just so that people will believe it. I think people are trying to bury their head in the sand, to be honest. But these are the official government resources. So while this filth has been pushed in schools, Scottish political debate goes round and round in circles. Independence, Brexit good, Union, Boris bad, Indy Ref 2, Boris good, Brexit bad, round and round in circles. No politicians really interested in this sort of area. No one's making it their priority. But Scotland is a democracy. And the mission of the Scottish Family Party is to put MSPs in the Scottish Parliament who will stand up for decency and morality in this area and in lots of other areas as well. And if you want to see that happening, if you want to see this voice in Scottish politics, you need to support the Scottish Family Party. And the best way you can do that is by joining us via the link below. And you can do that right now today. Thanks for watching.